Hey everybody, it is dinner time at the OK Corral. Tonight I'm going to make steak sandwiches. And this is kind of something that I've been making for many years. It's a very simple recipe. Actually, it's not really a recipe, it's just something I created. It's simple to do, it's really satisfying. It's got lots of flavor, melty cheese. I mean, who doesn't love a little melty cheese, right? But yeah, so coming to you with that, I'm just going to, you know what I should have done? I should have toasted the buns beforehand because I can see this going wrong and I'd burn a couple buns because I'm talking too much. But let's give me the benefit of the doubt that I won't burn the buns. I just like to toast the buns in advance because I find when you're putting the meat with, you know, just a little bit of sauce or whatever, if you toast the buns, it keeps them from getting soggy. So that's my story and I'm sticking to it. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to cut up the steak because I want to put it with a little bit of salt and pepper and maybe a little bit of Worcestershire sauce and just marinate it a little bit. Just to help enhance the flavors. So I have steak here. It's strip loin. I've got two little, like one and a half strip loins. Way more steak than I need, but we will use this. We'll repurpose this meat. So sometimes what I do is I'll make this and then I can make it into a wrap tomorrow, chop it up and put it on nachos. Like the meat that's left over, there's always ways that you can repurpose it that makes it really delicious. Sometimes it just goes with a bun and some cheese to work with Billy and he nukes it to warm it up for lunch tomorrow. So, okay, so we've got the beef. What we want to do is we want to cut it across the grain because that is what's going to keep it the most tender. So when you have steak, you can sort of notice there's lines in it when you cut it. You want to cut perpendicular to those lines, not along the line, so you can see. You probably can't see. This is probably just an exercise in silliness, but anyways. So you want to cut across the grain. Look for the sort of stripy lines and got a little bit of a fat thingy going through there. So I hate to waste any of it, so I sliced a few pieces. Now I'm going to throw that chunk away. And the fat, I mean, who doesn't love a little chunk of fat, right? But it's kind of gross when you get a big full mouthful of it. So the thinner you can slice this meat, the better. So take a sharp knife and do it like that. If you are having trouble slicing it nice and thin, you can always stick it in the freezer for about 10 to 15 minutes. Well, I'd say 15 for sure. And it'll be ever so slightly frozen. And then it makes it easier to slice in thinner pieces. So the thicker pieces are nice, but the thicker pieces have two issues. The first one is that sometimes they can be a little more tough and harder to cook. And the other thing is when you are taking a bite of your steak sandwich, have you ever had one of those ones where maybe you have one of those steak sandwiches but they actually put a steak in the sandwich? And you take a bite and everything comes out? It's just easier to chew, to take a bite of the sandwich if you slice it thin. Take that time in advance. It's all about the prep, right? You want to do the best job prepping your meal that you can. It doesn't have to be fancy high dining all the time, but if you're making a steak sandwich, then make a good steak sandwich. Oh shoot, see, this is the problem. Krista puts stuff, she cuts meat up. She refers to herself in the third person. Then she cuts meat up and puts it in the garbage bowl. That wasn't me. Okay, we're good. We're still okay here. I'm still okay. Just trim the rest of this junk off here. All right, so when you have a strip loin, cutting it a grains to grain is going to be going this way every time. And I like to cut it on the diagonal. Why, you ask? I don't know, just because I do. Whoops, flying meat. I used to really not be a fan of strip loins. We have this discussion in the community, in case any of you remember, talking about our favorite cut of steak. And there were some interesting cuts of steak that I'd never heard, which was kind of cool. But I'm in Canada, and in the States, they have amazing corn-fed beef that just the flavor is incredible. And they have all sorts of different and interesting cuts of meat. So in Canada, we pretty much have a filet, sirloin, a ribeye, or a strip loin. And you see them now in restaurants because food service is bringing them in to sell to restaurants. But for me, the ribeye has always been my favorite. And that's, if you think about a big, like a prime rib or something like that, the bit of meat that's usually kind of shaped like that goes in about between the bones is the ribeye. And it's really tender and it's really well marbled. And it's just so good and so expensive. So, funny story, I'll tell you a story. I always have a funny story about things, ingredients. I was in Florida. Actually, I think it's for my honeymoon 50 million years ago. Got my garbage bowl down. 1994, I guess it was. And, you know, even then I was the young punk chef, and never, I say punk jokingly, but I was never sort of obnoxious and a bit of a prima donna. I was always pretty grounded. So we went into the grocery store, and this was our honeymoon, so we were gonna have steak, staying at my dad's condo in Florida, in Naples, Florida. There's a barbecue, so we were gonna barbecue steak, and I was really excited. So we went in and we splurged for the Delmonico's, or the ribeye as they're called. And I said, you know, two Delmonico's, and it was at the Publix grocery store. And the guy wraps them up and gives them to us. And we take them back to the apartment. And it might have been the last night that we were going, for there was some reason. Anyways, so we took them back, and I'm telling you a story about steak. Took them back, and then we barbecued them. And I looked at them and I thought, these don't look like ribeyes. I gave them the benefit of the doubt because they're the butcher, I'm the consumer, what do I know? I cooked them, and I took one bite and I said, stop eating. These are strip loins, they're not Delmonico. And the Delmonico was $5 a pound, $10 a pound more than the strip loins. So first of all, I wasn't a big strip loin fan at the time. Second of all, we'd just been ripped off big time. So I picked the steaks up, I wrapped the cooked steaks, and we took them back to the store, and I said, can I speak to the manager, please, in the butcher shop? And the guy came out, and I said, you know, I hate to complain, but we bought these steaks. You can see on the package, we bought Delmonico's. These are not Delmonico's. And the guy takes them back, and he looks up, and he comes out and he goes, they're not. You're right. We're very, very sorry. We'll refund you the amount and give you free steaks. So, you know, it was a lesson in stand up for what you know, but also, you know, maybe it was an innocent enough mistake, but whoever's mistake it wasn't mine. I didn't order those steaks, but we certainly paid for something really expensive. So anyways, I swear I have a story about everything. It's part of my charm, I think. Billy and I have been discussing what my charm is, and he thinks disorganized and a little flighty is not part of my charm. I think it's part of my charm. Right, Billy?
No comment.
I knew he'd say no comment. It's not funny. Okay, so I've chopped up some garlic, sliced the steak, putting the garlic in here, and put a little olive oil. Olive oil. Not a lot, just a bit. Ding dong, mixed nuts. A little salt and pepper. Now, normally I'm a proponent for seasoning steak only with salt and pepper because a good steak, the flavor stands on its own. You don't have to enhance it with a lot of things. But this is a steak sandwich. This is a horse of a different color. I don't get to say that in everyday speech, so I'll throw that in. So I think personally that it's nice to add a little extra flavor for this. And then you have to figure out how to open your can. This is smoky and hot chili powder, a blend of smoked paprika and hot chili. I just loaded a ton in there, so it might be picey. I'm going to leave that for that. Guillermo? Oh, I could have put slap your mama on it too. I was just going to ask you something, but now I can't remember what it was. Okay, so we're just, that's what I was looking for. Oh, I was going to ask you for Sweet Baby Ray barbecue sauce. Do you know if we have any anywhere in the house? Because I'm pretty sure we don't in the fridge here. It might be in the pantry. All right, so just put a little olive oil, some salt, some pepper, oh, I know what I went to the cupboard for. I'll use it in drops. I was going to put some chipotle on this, but I don't need to. So this is just going to marinate. There's not a lot to this. That's that. And I like to do that because then I don't have to wash my hands quite as much. Okay, so the only other ingredients in these wonderful steak sandwiches are peppers and onion. So I don't, oh, thank you, sweetheart, because I know how much you love your Sweet Baby Rays. Peppers and onions. So it's almost kind of like a fajita mixture, but not, you know, different flavors. And this is going to be a little saucy, whereas a fajita mixture is really mostly just like a grilled stir-fried meat type of thing. Yes, yes, yes. We're going to do shallots, which means I will probably cry. Okay, those are ready. So I'm going to endeavor, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put the buns in here to toast. And I'm going to set a timer. Just for a minute, because I don't know how long it will take. Cutting a pepper, you know my famous way. Cut the bottom off. You cut the top off. That way you'll have lovely even slices for the remainder of it. But we don't need a whole lot of peppers, but we also have a whole lot of meat, so I have a little more than I would normally do. Well, that's plenty, I think. The same thing with the, and I started doing this years ago. A restaurant, the first restaurant I worked in actually, they used to chop up, they used to slice peppers like this for a pasta primavera, and they wanted the pieces to be straight, so they cut off the tops and bottom and throw them out. And I'm like, hold up, we're not going to throw those out. We can make use of those. Not burnt yet. So I would take the tops that they would discard, so they had nice straight pieces of peppers, and dice them and put them in the rice pilaf. So there you go. Bob's your uncle. And then we're just slicing the shallot or onion, depending on what you're using for your fabulous, fabulous meal. And as I say with everything, it doesn't matter how you slice it or chop it, as long as you're happy with it. And if they're not uniform and they're all different sizes, as long as you're happy with it and it tastes good, it's the only thing that matters. I mean, I have a little advantage because I've done this so many times, but really, it's all about enjoying the process, enjoying the food, making the most of it. Okay, it looks like I am not going to shed any tears. Oh, you know what? We're going to call that enough, because then there's much less chance that I burn this. Okay, so see, they're just nicely toasted. I'll be putting the meat on that and then cheese on top of those. So, I've got the fans a-blowing. I've got the woozy blowing the fan, the smoke to the hood. So we should be good. I shouldn't smoke poor Billy out. Try not to do that. I've got this on a fairly high heat. I don't want it to sweat. I want it to saute. I've got it in a big pan. So when you're doing something like this, if you crowd the pan, and Martin actually asked me this question, if you crowd the pan, it tends to boil. Whereas if you keep it not so crowded, the air can circulate around it, then it browns and the water evaporates, versus if it's crowded, it goes in and it starts to boil. So that's the trick, is really just not overcrowding your pan. Now these pieces are, they're thin and they stick together a little bit, so it might be a little bit crowded in here, but then the trick becomes having your pan warm enough and just keeping the meat moving. There we go. So there's some places where it's come piled up that you can see there's still air, there's still room for the air to circulate around it. So I would say if you were doing this, you could use 8 ounces of steak. A sirloin would be good. Don't use a flank steak. Don't use a pot roast or anything, but a sirloin, a top sirloin, maybe even an inside round. Something like that would probably work well. Strip loin works beautifully. Please don't use the Delmonico. It's such a waste of a good steak. Just turn this fan up a little more. There we go. Got all the fans fanning, so it will keep any sort of fumes out of the house, and the microphone hopefully is keeping me quiet. You can hear my voice and not the rest of the background noise. Okay, so I'm just moving this around constantly. It's cooking nicely. You can tell that the meat is almost cooked. We're not going to put the peppers in until the meat is cooked, because that will instantly make it into a situation where the meat would boil as well. So we want to cook the meat first. And what we'll even do is I'm going to season the meat, and then I'll move it into a bowl to rest while I do the peppers, and then I'll put it back into the pan. If you don't have tongs like this, you should buy some. I use my tongs for everything. I'm like a little lost puppy if I try and cook something with no tongs. Oh, well, that's good. Perfect. A little bit spicy. So, I'm going to put a little Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire sauce makes everything good. Not a lot. A little bit HP sauce, House of Parliament sauce, also known as brown sauce in the UK. That also gives it a little bit of a sharpish flavor. And Billy's favorite, Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. I just put a couple tablespoons of the barbecue sauce and the HP sauce, and maybe a tablespoon of the Worcestershire sauce, a couple teaspoons. So we'll let those flavors mingle a little bit. Saute. Just make sure the sauce is thick, because you want it to be a little juicy. That's when it's really good, right? It's not a dry event, it's a nice juicy thing. I like to let it reduce a little bit, get the excess water out, concentrate the flavor, right? We've talked about this, is reducing really concentrates the flavor and dials that in. All right, I'm gonna put this over in my bowl. That's going to come back in as soon as we give the peppers and the shallots a little bit of a dusting. And you don't even need to put any oil in here because it'll saute just nicely with the remnants of the juice that's here. Da, da, da. So when dinner's finished, I will post this. What I'll probably do is post it on YouTube and then click the link or copy the link and send it to my community. If you're watching this on YouTube, I would love you to join the Relationship Chef on School. That's SKOOL. And the community is just called the Relationship Chef. The link is in my bio and also in the description of this. So hopefully we'll see you over there. I'm just going to let that sit for a moment. So what we're going to do, the tops are toasted. We don't need to put those in again. We'll put the beef and peppers mixture on top of the buns. Here's the cheese. Cheese. And put a little bit of cheese on top of each of them, and it's going to be chef's kiss fabulous. There we go. That looks amazing. You don't have to cook those really a ton because you want them sort of crisp, right? Keep the flavor. You don't want them gushy. And you know, you see me a lot of the times I'm not measuring. I always put things into measurements for you. But just remember that cooking can be intuitive. You can add a little more of this if you like this and a little less of that if you don't like that. Some recipes, I will tell you, you know, please don't leave this out even though you might not like it. It makes a big difference in the flavor. But a lot of times you can adapt. Just don't go overboard, right? If you like garlic, don't put 4 tablespoons of garlic in here and don't ever use garlic. But, you know, add a little extra garlic if you want. All right, this looks amazing. All right, so I will turn that off. We've got our, hopefully you can see it here because I got some stuff here. There we go. Okay, we've got our 2 bottoms. Going to put some steak on this. This is so good. And oh, little interesting hack for you as well. You can do this with leftover steak. If you have some steak or even some roast beef that's left over, slice it thin, do the same thing. You just don't need to cook it as long. But it works really well with leftovers, which I think is kind of a great way. And actually, that's how I most often will do this, is as a leftover extravaganza. Way to use our leftovers. All right, 2 gorgeous steak sandwiches. A little bit of cheese, little bit of this and a little bit of that. Dun, 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 wow, it's time. That's no lie. Okay. All right. Let us put this in the oven. For 1 minute, which won't be enough, but again, I don't want to burn it. I always keep my broiler on a fairly low setting as well. I don't have it super high, so. That'll need more than 1. All right, and there's our leftovers that, like I said, I can freeze it like that. I can make nachos with it. There's a variety of things I can do. I'll put that over on the other side. Hopefully you can still see this okie dokie. It's going to take a moment. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to send me a message. Ask me if you want to ask me for ingredients, substitutions, technique, if I've gone a little too fast. The beauty of the videos, you can stop and start and stop and start. But if I've gone a little bit too fast, then you can send me a message and I'll clarify some of the points for you. Just remember to have fun doing it, because food is something you should enjoy. You should savor every bite of it and enjoy it with a friend, child, a parent, a partner, whatever it is. It's fun when we get to eat and share a meal with somebody too and have that conversation. Oh yeah, that looks wonderful. Okay, that's going to be just a second. I'll turn this off. Look at those beauties. So, maybe use a spatula for this. Once in a while, I like to use the proper utensils. I like, because you all know about me being on my best behavior during cooking classes. All right, sweetheart, are you hungry? Whew, I starved him. It's a late class because I had a couple other things I had to do. So, he's been a very patient sweetheart today. There we go. Lid on top. We'll serve this with a salad, and Bob's your uncle. So thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoy your steak sandwiches, and by all means, as always, take a picture, send it to me, or if you want to take a picture and post it on social media, just make sure you do the hashtag Chef's Kiss. Thanks.